It's Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. I want to recap on what happened in these markets today, and I want to share some data with you, some articles. And really quick, I just want to respond to a comment last night. Somebody wrote in one of the comments down below that all I do is give bad news. I share bad news. I just put out more doom and gloom. Quite the opposite. I share reality, and I'm just the messenger, ladies and gentlemen. I sit here every day. I look at 20 to 30 media outlets, jot down a lot of notes, do a lot of reading, look at a lot of data, and unfortunately, the news is not good. Now, people would much rather me, I guess, lie and tell you everything is okay. People, I guess, just want to go along with the illusion. People just want to be told what they want to hear. This is probably the wrong channel. I'm here to warn you. I'm here to just break down some of the data and make you think a little bit. And to this individual, he goes, well, you don't have any solutions. I think if you've been watching this channel for a while, I've given a lot of solutions, what we all can be doing every day. And to say something like that, I think you have to be a really ignorant human being, because why do you need me to give you a solution? Why don't you, as an adult human being, think for yourself? The data's bad, the numbers are bad, the economy's bad. Maybe you, as an adult human being, need to think for yourself and come up with your own solutions. You know, we all come from different environments, we all live in different places, we all have different incomes, we all have different family structures, we all have a different type of environment. So my solution may not work for you. So you, as an adult human being, need to start thinking for yourself, not relying on me, not relying on another channel, not relying on a politician or somebody on television to tell you what to do or how to think. You need to start thinking outside of the box, self-sufficiently for yourself. That's what you need to do. There's a solution for you today. Think for yourself. Don't let me think for you. Think for yourself. Do your own due diligence. Do your own homework. And I think you'll be in a much, much better place. And you won't have to worry about the doom and gloom, because if you're really, really preparing, you should be concerned. But the people who really need to worry, the people who are really going to be scared, are the people who are not prepared. I think most people who are awake to what's coming, are prepared for it, are not going to be taken by surprise. And I think they're going to handle this with a lot less stress than the average person who is not prepared for it. So there's a little bit more of a solution for you today. I hope that helps. But to everybody out there, I don't sit here and tell you I have the answers or the solutions. I'm just hoping that everybody is thinking for themselves, that we're getting out of the system the most that we can, that we're protecting our wealth, that we're protecting our families, and that we're thinking for ourselves, and that we're asking questions, we're doing our due diligence, and that we're paying attention to what's happening daily. Because, a lot of people, adults, will sit there and talk about a football game for a half an hour, at the gym, or they'll talk about what Tom Brady's doing or where he's going to go, and what kind of cars are you going to buy, and what kind of house is he going to buy, and who's he going to play for. Who cares? Your country is in big trouble. This economy, your job, your future, your retirements, your pensions, your purchasing power is in big trouble. Yet we have adult human beings worried about what Tom Brady is doing. Shocking. But let's get into this a little bit. What should we be concerned about? We've got a lot to be concerned about. The stock market, these markets have no doubt been hijacked, and you are aware of that. They've been hijacked by central banks, and this collapse is not going to get any better anytime soon. And we're going to continue to witness this illusion as I turn on the television today, as the Dow Jones was down about 400 points today, S&P down, NASDAQ up a little bit, Russell 2000 down. Not a good day, but we're not seeing a meltdown. And with the news and the data that I'm looking at, it's amazing that the stock market wasn't down, the Dow wasn't down 1,000 points today. But again, it's all this illusion that everything's going to be okay. The Fed is going to pivot. The Fed is going to print money again. Everything's under control. Jobs are coming back. Manufacturing is coming back. Everything is going to be wonderful. Real estate's roaring back. Everything's going to be fine. If you believe in the illusion that you're watching every day on the television, they're going to continue to tell you and sell you on this illusion while they continue to sacrifice the U.S. economy for these markets. We are sacrificing Main Street for Wall Street. These markets are so detached from reality, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I have to tell you that. I think 98.7% of you all understand that already. And the economy is going to continue to collapse. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 6-9 months ago, when people would comment daily, JB, when's the economy going to collapse? When's it going to collapse? And I just thought that was so ignorant, because it was collapsing right before their very eyes and they didn't even know it. But those same people now have disappeared. They no longer comment. You know why? Because more than likely they lost their job. More than likely they've been evicted. More than likely they've had their car repoed. More than likely they filed bankruptcy. They're broke and they're done. And so while people were ignoring the warning signs and believing the illusion, they were going deeper and deeper into debt. And eventually they found out that their real purchasing power was disappearing, their savings was disappearing, and they were going deeper into debt with credit cards. And now they're a statistic. Do not let this happen to you. Those people are disappearing. I hardly ever see anybody even commenting about the collapsing economy, because it's so in your face now, nobody can deny it. But guess what? It's going to get worse. The economy has got a long way to go down, and it is going to. And the question is, how long does it stay down? And does it ever recover? If it does recover, what's the recovery look like? Will we ever get back to the heydays? Will we ever get back to any type of normal? I don't think so. But while this is happening, we're going to see more pressure on the average person, more pressure on the consumer. And I'll tell you what's going to be really hard on the average consumer. You look at the average credit card interest rate at 19.03%, and the average consumer has what, 5, 6, 7, 8 credit cards? More? And how many of those have an interest rate of 29.9%? People are never going to recover from what is happening. And if you think it's bad now, it's only getting worse. Again, the illusion is that everything's turning around, but it really isn't. Dow Jones fell over almost 400 points today. On the news that Goldman Sachs had its worst reported earnings miss in a decade. Their stock fell 6.44% today. And get this, in the article on CNBC, about 7% of S&P 500 earnings have reported earnings through Tuesday morning. Of those companies, 70% have beaten expectations. How many of you really believe that, when half of this country doesn't even have $500 saved up, when 65% of the country is living paycheck to paycheck, when 53% of workers in this country make under $33,000 a year? But these companies are beating expectations. I look at the unemployment numbers, we look at inflation, we look at the earnings. How much of this, we look at the housing numbers. How much of this do you believe anymore? I read in the comments, people are beginning to not believe any of the data. And good for you, because I think the data is just completely skewed and completely rigged, completely manipulated. We are just watching the cooking of more books with the data. Here's another one from the Hedge. Goldman tumbles after big revenue loss. They have set aside, get this, $1 billion for future loan losses. So what is to come, ladies and gentlemen? What do they know that you don't know? Imagine what the higher ups at Goldman Sachs knows right now. They have been killed by subprime loans. They bet on subprime borrowers. And now they're going to lose billions of dollars, as they already have, by these subprime loans. So, maybe it's time to get your money out of the bank. That's a little, to that individual right there. Here's some advice for you. Here's a solution. One thing you could do today. Get your money out of the bank. Keep in there what you need to pay your bills. Do not keep all your money in the bank. There's solution number one today. I'm going to give you a freebie right there. Solution number one. And while I'm making this video, if you want to support this channel, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell notification down below so that you are alerted when the newest videos come out. But we need to continue to get these messages out. You need to share these videos. You need to subscribe. There's no obligation. There's no cost. Just subscribe, and you'll be alerted every day when a new video comes out. And we need to share these videos and other channels like this so that more people wake up. I will say this. More people are waking up now than ever before, and I think that's great news. Here's another one from the Hedge. US layoffs far higher than suggested by initial jobless claims. I'm just going to go through this article really quick. It says here, one day we get a contraction in PMI employment, both manufacturing and services. The other, we get a major beat in employment. Then one day, the household survey shows a plunge in employment. In fact, there has almost been no employment gain in the past 9 months and a record in multiple job holders and part-time workers. And the same day, the establishment survey signals a spike in payrolls, mostly waiters and bartenders. The JOLTS report shows an unexpected jump in job openings, even as actual hiring slides to a 2-year low. So there's a complete contradiction going on with what's happening in the job market, how many people are working versus how many people are not, how many people are working 2 or 3 jobs. So these numbers are all over the place and being very, very manipulated. So, we live in a time now where most people are working 2 jobs. Some of them are working 3 and 4 jobs. And yet we're being told that the job market is improving. Oh, we have, 10.5 million job openings. Well, where is everybody? How's everybody paying their bills? Of course, most of these jobs are low wage, part-time jobs, service sector jobs. How in the world is America going to survive as a superpower, a world leader, when most of the jobs in America are in the service sector? Bartenders, waiters, waitresses, coffee makers. How do we survive? How in the world are we supporting this incredible housing market when half the country is making literally no money, has no money saved up, and most of the country is working part-time jobs in the service sector? Things just don't jive, ladies and gentlemen. Things are not adding up. Here's another one from the Hedge. Empire Fed Manufacturing Survey totally collapses. Anybody that believes there's going to be a soft landing is delusional. They really are. It says here the New York Fed's General Business Conditions Index crashed nearly 22 points to 32.9 this month, twice as bad as the weakest analyst estimate. New orders dropped nearly 28 points to minus 31.1, the lowest since May of 2022. Shipments plunged by a similar amount. Factory employment fell to the weakest level in more than 2 years. Where's everybody going? How are people paying their bills when they're not working? Amazon begins cutting 18,000 workers in biggest layoff ever. Fox Business today. I guess the market doesn't care. The markets do not care if you lose your job. They don't care if your car is getting repossessed. They don't care if you're losing your house. They don't care how much debt you have. The markets don't care. It's all an illusion now. All an illusion. A complete detachment from reality. Kroger CEO Rodney McMullen says half its customers are under financial strain. He says their wages haven't kept up with inflation that they have incurred. He says, now I thought this was interesting. He says later this year, you will start seeing quite a bit of moderation in inflation or flat inflation. What do you think about that? Rodney McMullen, CEO of Kroger, he says that inflation is going to be flat later this year. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be flat? I don't see how it can be with the amount of money that this country is printing. And let's not forget, we've got the debt ceiling on Thursday. We know that they're gonna raise that. Where's that money going to come from? So I don't know how these people come to the conclusion that all of a sudden inflation is going to disappear later this year. I really, really don't. In fact, I think it's going to be much, much worse, and we're going to see a lot more people laid off. This is going to be a time, I believe, of stagflation. We're going to see so many people out of work, and we're going to have a very stagnant economy. And I think it's going to get to a point where people begin to realize that they've been duped. And as their Social Security continues to be robbed, as their 401ks get wiped out and their retirements get wiped out, we have a savings rate of 2.2% here in America. people are going to just realize that they've been suckered, they've been fooled into the FOMO, into the suckers rallies in these markets. They've been fooled by the people on the television saying it was a great time to buy a home, great time to go out and take a vacation, great time to buy an automobile. But they never thought ahead that, hey, maybe you could lose a job. Maybe the economy isn't quite as good as they're telling you. This is why you have to do some due diligence and see what is really happening. I'm going to close with this last article, completely off topic, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Lisa Marie Presley, as you know, passed away a few days ago. Says here she was spending $92,000 a month before her death and owed the IRS $1 million after squandering the $100 million fortune she inherited from her father, Elvis. Just looking at some of this, she had $23,000 a month in rent, $1,100 Maserati payment. She was only bringing in $140,000 from the Elvis Presley enterprise and $4,400 from the Graceland estate, while she had these massive bills, $23,000 a month in rent. She owed the IRS $1 million. There's a picture in the article where she's in a black dress with a gold serpent on the dress, and she did not look very healthy at all. And, it's an industry that is very, very satanic, but just looking at her lifestyle and the way she spent, it's a reminder to all of us that don't be fooled by what you see. Somebody driving a nice car, somebody living in a nice house. They could be completely broke. I think we should be measuring wealth by how much debt we have. Somebody that lives in a little shack that their car's paid for, maybe their house is paid for, they have no credit card debt, they have zero debt. That to me is a wealthy person. You could live in a big house, but you have massive amounts of debt. Nothing's paid for. Your house isn't paid for. The cars aren't paid for. The credit cards aren't paid off. You have massive amounts of bills. Is that really being wealthy? No, I don't believe it is. I think the person that has absolutely no debt is the wealthy person. At one point, she was $16 million in debt because of bad business deals. $450,000 in attorney fees, $500,000 in credit card debt, $250,000 in miscellaneous debt, just to name some of it. And, when I see that golden serpent on her dress, I ask, she had a lot of money at one time. She spent a lot of money. She lost a lot of money. Did she know where she was going? Did she know when she was going to die? Probably not. Did she know before she died where she was going? All that wealth, did she help anybody with it? All that money, all that wealth, all the parties. But where is she today? And I hope she made it. I really do. But we put so much time and effort into making money and worshiping people in Hollywood and worshiping people that have nice cars and wealth, and people really idolize people who are wealthy or people who are in movies or in music. The question is, what did it get her? She's dead. All that money, all that wealth, the name, the prestige, all of it, the Hollywood lifestyle, got her into drugs, died early, and you can all come to your own conclusion of why she died or how she died. I'm not here to talk about that. At the end of the day, she died. Did she know where she was going? Was she prepared? All the money, all the wealth, all the fame, did it help her in the last days? No, it did not. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's not about money. It's not about fame. It's about knowing where you're going after this. We need to be responsible while we're here. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to be financially, physically, and spiritually responsible. But most of all, at some point, we're all going to be leaving here. You need to know where you're going. And that is the number one asset, walking close to God. Asking God for knowledge, for direction, and knowing where you go once you leave here. All the money, all the drugs, all the fame, the notoriety, everything is not going to save you. In fact, probably send her to a very, very bad place, and I hope I'm wrong. Make sure you're prepared, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just preparing financially. It's not just preparing physically. It is preparing spiritually. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to speaking with all of you. Share this video. Make sure you subscribe. God bless.